Good news is finally breaking about stimulus checks, and this time it's directly connected to President Donald J. Trump.
Well, we have a lot of money coming in, rebate check for the Americans, and it's coming in at tremendous numbers. Don't forget.
President Trump has officially acknowledged the idea of sending money back to the American people in the form of tariff rebate checks. And for millions struggling with high costs of living, this could not come at a better time. Stimulus checks return? Trump says Americans may get tariff rebate check. That's not speculation. That's not rumor. It's a real possibility straight from the former president himself. I'm going to show you the full video clip where Trump speaks about this, but before I do, let me explain why this is so important. Families across the United States are hurting right now. Discussion about direct payments, about money actually going back into your pocket, is massive news. And here's the kicker. While this announcement is making waves, another story has been spreading, one about a $1,390 stimulus payment. Many of you have heard about it online, and some of you even reached out to ask if it's true. So let's clear the air right now. IRS issues major update on $1,390 stimulus check claim to Americans. The IRS is debunking claims that a $1,390 stimulus check is coming. Yes, you heard that correctly. The IRS has officially confirmed that the circulating stories about a $1,390 check being automatically sent to households are false. They've called it misinformation and emphasized that no such payments are scheduled at this time. So where does that leave us? On one hand, we have real news about possible tariff rebate checks, and on the other, a debunked rumor about a $1,390 check. Let's dig into both, starting with what President Trump said. During a recent exchange, Trump was asked directly if there was any update on his earlier mention of giving Americans rebate checks funded by tariff revenue.
In addition to reducing the deficit, any update on your previous talking about potentially giving Americans a tariff rebate check?
Well, we have a lot of money coming in, rebate check for the Americans, and it's coming in at tremendous numbers. Don't forget, I would say, Scott, we probably are talking about right now 50%, maybe even less than that. With all the money you're hearing is coming in, you're talking about, a lot of it hasn't kicked in yet. And when it really kicks in is in 2 years when these plants are built and opened and the money starts pouring in, right? But there's a concept of making you could call it a dividend, as we would say, making a dividend to the people in this country who have had to suffer through stupid leadership, and they paid a lot of taxes and they got nothing for it, or they got attacked like you were, okay?
His answer? He didn't dodge the question. He made it clear that a lot of money is coming in, and that some of that revenue could indeed be redistributed to U.S. taxpayers. Could stimulus checks be headed back into American wallets? President Donald Trump said he's considering paying rebates to U.S. taxpayers with revenue generated from billions of dollars coming from tariffs on imports from foreign countries. That's an exact quote from a major outlet, and it's a big deal. Why? Because unlike rumors, this is something the administration is openly admitting is on the table. Trump went even further. He compared it to paying a dividend to the American people, a kind of return for the pain they've endured under poor leadership and heavy taxation. According to him, part of the priority is to use the tariff money to pay down national debt, but another real possibility is that a portion could be sent back to families as rebate checks. And here's another important point. Trump emphasized that any such checks would be targeted to low and middle-income households, the very people most squeezed by inflation today. But Trump isn't the only one talking about this. Senator Josh Hawley has stepped in with actual legislation, the American Worker Rebate Act. This bill proposes direct payments of $600 for every eligible adult, $600 for dependents, and $1,200 for couples. The eligibility rules are straightforward. Individuals earning up to $75,000 would qualify for the full $600. Married couples earning up to $150,000 combined would receive the full $1,200. Families with dependents would get $600 per child. This is similar to the eligibility requirements we saw in past stimulus programs, which means it's designed to reach working-class families and middle-income households, not just the wealthy. Of course, this bill still needs final approval from Congress. If passed, it would land on President Trump's desk for signature. But the fact that both Trump and Hawley are aligned on this idea shows just how seriously it's being considered. Now, let's circle back to the other side of the story, the rumor that spread like wildfire. Many Americans were led to believe that $1,390 payments were set to roll out automatically this year. Social media posts, articles, and even videos repeated it. But here's the truth, straight from officials. There have been news reports circulating saying that the Internal Revenue Service will be giving out a $1,390 stimulus check. The organization, however, is debunking those rumors. They've gone on record to say this is completely false. There are no approved $1,390 checks scheduled to go out. These stories are misleading, and if you've seen them, you now know the truth. That said, some analysts are pointing out that misinformation often grows when there's real hunger for relief. Millions of Americans want and need help, and when official updates are slow, rumors spread like wildfire. So here's where things stand. Tariff rebate checks are real possibilities. Trump himself confirmed that money from tariffs could be redistributed to taxpayers. Josh Hawley's bill adds momentum. It sets specific dollar amounts and eligibility rules, giving this proposal legislative weight. $1,390 rumors are false. The IRS has made it crystal clear there is no such payment being issued. But let's think about the bigger picture. Many experts argue that $600 is not enough. Inflation has raised costs dramatically. Groceries, housing, gas, and healthcare are all more expensive than they were during the last round of stimulus checks. Some economists suggest that a $2,000 payment per person would better reflect today's reality. Imagine what a $2,000 check could mean. Seniors could catch up on prescription costs, families could pay overdue utility bills, and struggling renters could finally get a little breathing room. That's why there's growing pressure on lawmakers to consider increasing the amount. And I want to ask you directly, do you support a $2,000 stimulus rebate check? If you do, drop a comment saying, "I support $2,000 stimulus check." Your voice matters. Public pressure is one of the only ways these discussions move forward. If ordinary Americans don't speak up, nothing will change. To sum it up, stimulus checks return. Trump says Americans may get tariff rebate check. IRS issues major update on $1,390 stimulus check claim to Americans. The IRS is debunking claims that a $1,390 stimulus check is coming. Could stimulus checks be headed back into American wallets? President Donald Trump said he's considering paying rebates to U.S. taxpayers with revenue generated from billions of dollars coming from tariffs on imports from foreign countries. There have been news reports circulating saying that the Internal Revenue Service will be giving out a $1,390 stimulus check. The organization, however, is debunking those rumors. These are the headlines you need to remember because they separate fact from fiction. Real discussions are happening in Washington about tariff-funded rebate checks. But at the same time, misleading stories are spreading online about a $1,390 payout that simply isn't happening. So stay alert, stay informed, and most importantly, stay hopeful, because with mounting pressure and real proposals on the table, relief could finally be on the way. I'll continue to track every update and bring you the truth as it develops. Until then, thank you for watching. Please hit that like button if you found this useful, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next major stimulus update. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.